Hey everybody, Dauntless here, and welcome back to another episode of Space Quest: The Lost Chapter. You may notice a couple things. First of all, you may notice I have a haircut, and that's not actually because the fire department requires it or anything. It's because I wanted to try and, I don't know, streamline getting out the door and stuff. And one thing that really bugs me is when I run in there and I've got wild hair if it's in the middle of the night. And I know that sounds really vain, but it also helps with a few other things. It kind of makes it easy to take care of and things like that. So now I have nice and short hair. It's all buzzed and everything. I got peach fuzz. Actually, it's a little longer than peach fuzz, but anyway. Also, you'll notice that I am out of the stupid maze. And you didn't miss much. Honestly, it was a pixel hunt. And here, I'll show you really quick what I'm talking about when I say pixel hunt. Okay. Okay, now that that's over, what I'm saying with a pixel hunt is you may notice I am right here on this particular layer, this particular depth. Now, I can stay on this depth until about here, and then I hit this tentacle right here, which is what was happening the entire time. There's a sweet spot, and it is only about a pixel that you need, and it's like a pixel line that you need to find where you get into this area and then turn, and then your character will be able to move all the way across. So basically, the entirety of the time that I spent trying to solve this was me going a little bit down and trying to go left. Restore, down 2 pixels, go left. And I basically a save and restore as I go down 1 pixel at a time until I find out where I need to be to get all the way over here. It is literally the worst designed puzzle I've ever come across because that's literally what it is. The depth and everything, after you get past this point, actually, well, to be honest, yeah. Once you get past this point, it's not as bad because you basically just go up here, go all the way to the right, and you make sure you don't bump into this thing. You got to be kind of like there's a depth here where you can kind of go all the way over, go down a little bit, grab your bone, go up a little bit, and then go all the way over. It's when you hit right here that all of a sudden it's just like, what were you thinking? Because if you aren't on that pixel perfect depth right where I'm at, you get killed no matter what. That's it. Your foot will bump this because you're obviously longer than you are, what? Your from foot to head is longer, the little character. And I think it's reading the character, the actual pixels of where his feet are and where his nose are. So if one of those hits the tentacle, you're dead. So you got to figure out exactly the right spot to come down so you're far enough over that you're on that line, but you're not going to hit this with your foot. So yeah, it's pretty bad. But anyway, now we can move on. You literally, I know I don't normally like cutting out, I don't like cutting out content at all. I really don't. But in this case, I was pixel hunting the entire time. That's all it was me doing a pixel hunt to figure out how I could get my character out of here. I'm going to be looking around doing a little exploring because I do want to figure out... I thought I could go over here. Well, I guess not. Alright. I'll just assume I got everything out of that hole. Because here's the thing. I do remember that I need to get a fishing rod. I need to make one anyway. Oh. There. Something I discovered while I was swimming around inside that place is that I still need to bend that. Now... there's a large rock on the swamp bed. The rock looks a bit out of place on the swamp bed. There's a small piece of yellow coral attached to the rock. You know what? Knowing this game's propensity for just killing me, you can't get the coral. Perhaps you should try something else. You cautiously pull the coral. Ah, the coral, apparently a lever, moved the rock, exposing a hole in the swamp bed. Yeah, like the planes, the depths and stuff are kind of bizarre. You cautiously enter the hole. Is this going to kill me again? Oh, is this a maze? I just got done with a maze. Why would you do this to me now? I just got finished with your terrible maze. Oh, dear God. I'm feeling like I should grab a notepad and start, like, mapping this thing out. Thank goodness I can breathe underwater. Oh, I really should have mapped this out. I might restore back. If I don't find, like, an exit here soon, yeah. Oh my goodness. Somebody likes their mazes. I mean, this one's at least a little more traditional. Okay, dead end. Hey, a dead end. I'll take it. Right now, I'm just aimlessly wandering. I'll move that cursor out of there. Oh, man. Well, I'm hoping down is the direction I'm supposed to be going. Oh my goodness. Vonster, you little turkey. Hey, that little bugger. Oh, hey! Oh no! Is that a... You are in an underwater tunnel of some sort. The tunnel does not appear to be natural, which leaves you to wonder who made it. The panel has some buttons with strange symbols on them. You try about a dozen combinations of buttons, but nothing happens. You're expecting maybe a valet to open it up for you and escort you in, then show you around, maybe get some dinner for you. Jeez. Uh... Um... So it's nothing. Literally, I can't get in there because I don't know. Alright, you know what? I'm not going all the way back. Okay. I am going to go look around more. I mean, good grief. What's that thing? Okay, well at least I don't think it's going to eat me. So let's keep exploring. Man, there is such a diversity of little critters he put in here, though. Did I look in here? Apparently it doesn't. Ah! No. You stay away from me. You know, of all the things to eat me, you think the thing that looks like a shark would be one of them. Okay, so there's an underwater thing there, and I gotta figure out what the combination is. At least, that's what I think. Oh, is this the place where the hole is? Yes. I want to look around here one more time. I think I've already gotten everything I can. Yeah, there. I think I've gotten everything I can here. I'm trying to remember, where did I get the... Oh, for a minute there I was like, clam? I'm trying to figure out where I get the fishing rod. Like you have the line, the hook, and the rod, and you have the worm. So do I? Why do I feel like I've already searched? No, I don't think I've seen this before. This is new. There's so much stuff to explore. Oh my god. Oh, look, another tree. Those are all inactive clams. Is it supposed to do that? Uh, Fascinating. Oh, there they go. Later, guys. Oh, it won't let me move. The strange, transparent excuse me, the strange, transparent, gelatinous creature immediately was drawn to you. No, I was drawn to the creature, obviously, because it forced me to go up here to this thing. Must be your animal magnetism. Well, that or your lack of a shower. While you stop to admire how pretty the creature is, it begins to envelop you. Perhaps it wants to warm you up in the cold swamp depths. Yeah, right. The creature takes you into itself and seeing you as a nice big juicy morsel of food, it starts its very slow process of digestion. You, of course, die of suffocation long before the internal acids begin dissolving your flesh. Thank goodness for small graces. You die looking out through the transparent body of your slayer, pounding uselessly at its gelatinous body. You are now dead. Okay. Was it... Let me do this. Okay, no, it's there. So I can go up here, and there's the cave, and this is the tiny terror, I believe, over here. Yep. I have a fishing line, a hook. I don't... It's a long... Oh, I think the bone might be able to be used as a ride. Oh, come on. Your commands are driving me nuts now. In AGS, which is not what this is made with, is using AGI, you can actually add words, so it makes it a little easier for you to basically create commands. Oh, you impress me. You attached the hook you made to the fishing line. You now have a line and hook ready to go. Don't ask me what, you figure it out. Having attached the nail to the Veronian's deep sludge fishing line, you now have a crude hook, fishing line and hook. Oh, really? Okay. What a genius! You bait your hook with the freaka worm. Now what are you going to do with it? You have now baited your line. Aren't you proud? Okay, so I'm going to just see if I can do this like so. Oh, wait. If I catch this thing, it's going to eat me, so... You fill the jar with water. Thank you. I'm glad I thought of that before I started doing something dumb. Oh. Hey, why not? This looks like a good place to cast a line. You might even catch something you could eat. Or maybe something that could eat you. Uh. Hello? I'm stuck. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh. Well, looks like you caught something. After all, that tiny-toothed terrorfish was no match for your Veronian deep sludge fishing line. You reel in your prize, wondering to yourself just what you're going to do with it. You smartly place the terrorfish in the jar. Letting this guy swim around in your pants is a bad idea. A bottled tiny-toothed terrorfish. You're sure glad you didn't put this guy into your pants without bottling him up first. You use the cover you found to seal up the jar tight as can be. You feel so much more secure now with the terrorfish put neatly away. A bottled tiny-toothed terrorfish. You're sure glad you didn't put this guy into your pants without bottling him up first. You feel even safer after covering your jar. There's no way he's getting out of there now. Okay. Yes! Okay. There we go. Now, oh, right. I can now go check out the cave here. I'm making progress! I'm glad I remembered that, too, because some of these puzzles, they're kind of obvious if you play through it and you're, like, just doing trial and error. After a while, you kind of get used to saving every 5 seconds. And then, you know, kind of figuring it out. Is that thing going to fall and kill me? What does it call it? Okay, yeah. And that's what you need to do is if you're going to say there's something there, there's got to be a better way of doing it than having me sit here and try and fight with a bad text parser interface. There's good text parser interface where, like in Space Quest Zero, where you can kind of feel your way around and look at stuff, and it'll kind of give you an idea of what's there. Especially the look down. I know that sounds like a weird command, but obviously there's already instances here where you have to be next to something to look at it properly, right? So it's not like they don't know how to make it so if you go here where I'm at and type look down, it would say something different. But yeah, what you want to do is make sure to add appropriate basically add in appropriate words in there so that you can figure out what's under there without really yeah, because like okay, there we go. There is what appears to be a piece of metal in the cave on the cave floor. Cool. All right. stack blown. Press. I think I just hit a bug. Okay, well, let's try this again. And let's hope this isn't some game-ending bug right here. Stack blown. It blew its stack. Ah, crap. This could be bad. Okay. I think that is a bug, but I'm wondering if there's a way around it at some point. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to head back out. I think I already know what this metal is for. And you'll have to excuse the fact that I technically know some of what I'm doing already, because I have played this game before. And basically the way it works is this. I've played this game so much. Not so much, but I played this game before. I remember kind of the the general idea of what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, for example, I knew I needed to catch the Tiny Tooth Terror, which I'm going to try and use in this cave here to see what happens. Oh my god. What do you think? The one jar that's in my inventory. Yeah. Here's the thing. They use this word right here, but they don't allow me to use it in the game. I think that's my one problem with this game so far. Well, aside from the really bad tentacle maze, is the fact that it has verbs and stuff like that in the game that it doesn't recognize if I type it in. Yeah, it doesn't get it. Its interface, the text interface is a little bit how should you say it? Unrelenting. It's very specific. It needs you to type in some very, very specific words. So release terrorfish, open jar, and I don't know. It could just be me, but I'd add in like several different commands you can put in to do the same thing. That way you don't end up with this particular problem where you have just this. You're sitting there just fighting to figure out what exactly you're supposed to be doing. Like the exact phrasing that it wants you to use. I think I've managed to explore everything in this area. I've managed to explore all the locations and stuff. All the rooms. So one thing, You place one end of the piece of metal in the small hole and pry open the door. Once again, you've surprised yourself with your smarts. It was almost as easy as opening a can of Zardinos, except you can't eat what's inside. Oof! You gracefully break your the shortfall with your head. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. The door is closed. There is a small panel to the left of the door. The panel appears to have controlled the door at one time. You fiddle with the panel, pressing buttons and pounding on it. Amazingly, the door begins to open. Oh my goodness, I did not expect that. I was pretty sure that was not going to work. Hey, cool stuff. You've entered a large room inside the crashed ship. There is a table of some sort, wires everywhere, and lots of debris to the left. The room extends out to the right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to explore this first. Whoa, that's kind of an interesting view right there. Like right here where you're walking up this way. Is there anything up here? Nope. Oh man, that's almost like forces you to use your diagonal keys. This room leads to the ship's cockpit. There are a few scattered things about the floor. There is what appears to be an elevator here. The floor has various items strewn about. Well, okay, I guess you don't like that. The elevator, when it worked, went down into the ship. It does not appear as dusty as the rest of the area. Since there are no buttons around, you assume it was a pressure-sensitive lift. Oh, whatever. Oh, that's not how you spell that. The cockpit has the pilot's chair, various controls and buttons. There is also some moss that has come in through the hole in the outer shell. There are buttons everywhere. You seriously doubt any of them would do anything. You can't do anything with the moss. Besides, it's slimy and icky and you don't want it in your pocket. Alright, I don't think there's anything in here right now. At least nothing it's willing to tell me. Well, let's go check the other way. Ooh, more stuff. You're headed in a corridor that leads to the west and the north. The ship is much bigger than what I thought from the outside. Oh, this looks like the engine room. This is the ship's engine room. There is a large panel and screen on the east wall, as well as other screens and buttons everywhere. If only you had read that Engineering for Dummies data disk back on Xenon. There is a Caraxian warp converter on the north wall and a hatch on the floor near the south wall. Okay, I'm glad I know what that is. Are you sure I didn't read that engineering thing? Because I somehow knew exactly what that is. Wow, whoever was flying this was tall. All the screens are dark and offer no clue as to what they once displayed. What else does it say? Convertor. I spelled it wrong. The warp converter is dull and lifeless at the moment. You strain your muscles trying to pry open the hatch. but succeed only in hurting yourself. Your arms feel 2 inches longer, and you're beginning to wonder if you gave yourself a hernia. The hatch on the floor has some strange symbols on it. It appears to be closed tightly. Nope. Here, let's just try this. Darn it! I figured I'd try the cheat mode. Ugh. Okay, well, let's go check out what's going on up in that room again, really quick. Now that I've searched this area, I'll go check out the regular room. I'll let this video go a little bit longer than normal, just because. Oh, look, nothing kills me here. Ah. Just start pushing random buttons. You never know. Look at table. The table was actually once some kind of console for monitoring something. It does not look functional now. Assuming you're talking about the door on the far wall, give it up. The door can't be opened by anyone, especially you. Well, at least you seem to be in a workroom type environment. Various pieces of equipment lay around. There is a console on the east wall and some strange rods in the corner. The most obvious piece of equipment is a pod of some kind, almost in the middle of the room. You take the rod that looks in the best condition from against the wall. Okay. The console to the extreme right looks quite new and undamaged. You fiddle with the panel, pressing buttons and pounding on it, but of course nothing happens. You do notice that there is a lack of dust on this panel as compared to practically everything else here. Could somebody have been using this panel for something? Since that door opened to let you in here, there must be power somewhere, perhaps even power to run this panel. That is an interesting point. On the inside of the pod, you see some buttons with strange symbols on them. You obviously have no idea what they do. There is also a slot for a card of some sort. Ooh! Ooh, 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 ooh. Ah! Well, of course you don't, because your verb system is actually a little bit befuddled. Ah... Why? Why would you do that? Oh my god. Like, just, listen to my command. It's... This is like the basic command you would use for that. Insert code card or something. Yeah. Anyway, I'll call it good for now. Thanks everybody for dropping by. Obviously, this episode is still pretty good. I really am making some decent progress at least, but I think my biggest problem is the verb system and their lack of attention to how to type in, basically allowing the player to put in enough put in commands that aren't exactly what they thought it should be. You know, like if I'm in here and it says I might be able to use the code card, but it doesn't let me, right? At all. So I know they're probably looking for specific terminology or something, but it's just kind of bad when you have to use exactly the right terminology because it kind of makes the whole experience just a lot less fun when you got to hunt through all of that. But other than that, it is still looking really nice, and the graphics are still amazing. I love the detail and stuff like that. But anyway, thanks everybody for dropping by. I really appreciate it. I will try and get videos up soon. We're still doing training and stuff, and basically our classes don't start until September. But there's a lot of other stuff you do, like you want to make sure to go to all the public events and stuff like that, so you can kind of get used to talking to basically talking to people about fire safety and stuff like that. You want to go to that so you can kind of get yourself out in the community, because being a firefighter isn't just fighting fires. It's also about making sure that people understand about fire safety, make sure they all know you, stuff like that, so that when you do show up at their house, they're like, oh, I know that guy. That's that guy I met. And it feels a little more comfortable when you're basically going through their house trying to figure out what's going on. Because a lot of times I've found, and I could be wrong in this, there isn't a whole lot of fires. There's a lot more like alarms and stuff like that. And so you're going to hunt through their house to find out what exactly is going wrong, and if there is a risk of a fire or something like that. But anyway, so there's a lot of extra little stuff here and there. Not only that, I've started actually exercising, which I definitely needed to do apparently. But thanks everybody for dropping by. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and hit the notification icon so you'll see when I actually do post up videos and stuff. I don't do it as often as I used to, but I am trying to continue to put up videos, and I always appreciate the views and the people who check it out regularly. Other than that, I think that's all. So thanks everybody for dropping by, and as always, I hope you all have a great rest of your day.